Hello, how are you doing? I am your host. Today I'd like to talk about if you're dealing with the fifth graders, they'll go again with the fifth graders. What do you do if it seems as if they're giving you a hard time? Because the fifth graders, they are a proactive group. They can act grown all they want, but at the end of the day, they still like approval. They should like to please the teacher. Believe it or not, they still want to be accepted. So one day they could get grown, independent, and the next day they depend on you, ask you questions for everything. So what do you do? If you're dealing with a mouthy fifth grader who might talk back to you, fifth grader who might curse, a fifth grader who might throw things at you. What you could say if a fifth grader is cursing or throwing things, not at you as a teacher, but at other students, and they think that the rules doesn't apply to them. They're being stubborn, they're being rebellious, they're giving you a hard time. I know it could be a bit much. What you could do is you could say, I know you're out to get them before they get you, but try this three-step rule. Let's try this part three rule. If I know what to do, leave it to me. If I don't know what to do, you get the dean. If as a last resort somebody gets you, then you defend yourself as a very last resort. That's what you can say. In other words, they seek help from the adult. You as a teacher, if you can't deal with it, then they can get um, the dean or the principal or a guidance counselor or social worker. If they are too busy, then maybe they could defend themselves. Once again, as a very last resort, you got to repeat it, reiterate it 2 or 3 times. So they don't automatically think that they have the right to um, touch somebody or, once again, get them before they get you. That means they put their hands on themselves if they say something that somebody said something that they didn't like. You understand? Because it doesn't work like that in the real world. If they touch people without um, them being hit first, and they go in jail, and you can ask them as a teacher, what's the consequences if you keep on putting hands on people and they haven't put their hands on you first? What will happen in this instances? And I know it may seem as if it's falling on deaf ears with them, but you gotta make them listen to you, make them respect you. See, it doesn't matter if you're the best teacher or even if you have all the tips and tricks, but if you don't discipline them, if you don't hold them accountable, even a good teaching doesn't mean a thing. You can be creative all you want. See, and the kids they looking for you as the adult. They're looking for you to do something, to take a stand, to keep them safe, to not tolerate anything more so in the fifth grade than any other grades. Believe it or not, so they looking for you. They seeing what you're gonna do as an adult. If you don't do anything, then they're taking matters into their own hands and start taking initiative and trying to help. And that's what they put names on people on the board, and that's where fights happen. And then you get some kids who may want to teach or try to discipline the class without your um, permission because they think you can't handle it. But you can handle it. You're very resourceful. You're very capable. You're very intelligent. So don't let and even if the kids, the fifth grade kids or sixth graders, but mostly fifth graders, think that you're too nice or you let them do whatever they want or you let them get away with murder, say that I appreciate you helping me, but I got this. If the kids say that they don't listen to you, I got it. You gotta stand firm. You gotta stick to your guns and say that you have it because you do. So don't be afraid to call that student out or to confront the student in a respectful way, uh, because the fifth graders are very sensitive too. Meaning, uh, and another thing too is you gotta match their energy. If they're energetic, you gotta be energetic. You gotta kind of be more energetic than them. If they see you're tired or lethargic, then they're gonna smell that and they're gonna take advantage of you and bombard you and ask you all these questions. How old are you? What's your name? Do you have a girlfriend? Do you have kids? Or can they go to the bathroom? Can they sharpen their pencil? Can they sit in the teacher's desk? Can they play a game when they have an earn? All of that. So you gotta be more energetic than them by getting a good night's sleep, by taking your break, by being on your P's and Q's, dot your I's, crossing your T's. You have to match their energy or supersede their energy. With that being said, that if they get loud, doesn't mean if they get a 10 out of 10 doesn't mean you get a 10 out of 10. You could be 6 out of 10 in value, maybe 7 out of 10. 8 out of 10 as a very last resort. That's if the class is going haywire and do whatever they want to do. Then you do 8 out of 10 as a very last resort. But for the most part, let your value be at a 6 out of 10, a 7 out of 10 for the most part. You know, say for example, let's say you line them up. You try 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10, but that's not working. Then maybe you could do the 8 out of 10. But the reason I say the last resort because if you do 8 out of 10 all the time, then that's gonna tire you out, and you might suffer from laryngitis where you lose your voice and you have a squeaky voice, and that's what the kids want you to do too. Sometimes they hoping for you to keep yelling so you can get tired. See, because the kids are smart, they're perceptive. So that's why you gotta conserve your energy. You gotta treat the fifth graders as if it's a marathon. That you gotta save your energy, so you can make it to the finish line without being tired. Treat the kids similar to the 400-meter race. And that's what pretty much is. It's an endurance race. So you can start off fast in the middle, let your speed coast or save your speed in the middle, then at the end finish strong. That's how you have to do with the kids. If you start out strong, but then get tired in the middle to start strong. So that's why you got to allocate it just as you allocate your stamina, your endurance at the 400-meter race. That's how you got to do with the kids. Treat the kids as a 400-meter race. Give a little at the beginning, give a little at the middle, give a little more extra at the end to finish the race strong. If you give a lot at the beginning, you'll be tired in the middle, and then you have to play catch up and do the makeup speed at the end, and it might be too overwhelming for you. Once again, get back with the discipline thing. You had to do something. Once again, dealing with those curses, dealing with the students who play fight, dealing with the students who throw things, you write their names. But I know these kids are smart, so they erase their names if you write on the board. So you have to maybe write it on the paper or write it on the computer. They really can't have access to, or write their name on the phone and show it to the disciplinarian. You have to do it ASAP. And I know it could be a little time consuming because you have stuff to do. You have a lesson to plan. But that's the only way that they're going to listen to you and respect you. Because they say, oh, the teacher took a stand, the teacher did something, and they'll expect that from you more. If if they just expect fun stuff and no discipline stuff for you, then they're not going to respect you. They may walk over you, and I don't want it to be a hectic year for you. So let's get these rough days out the way in September, October, and November, and December could be smooth operator. This is really serious, important for you, your development. You understand? Are you tired of getting headaches or being tired in the middle of the day, and you trying to make ends meet where you wish you had somebody to help you? I don't want you to go through that with the fifth graders or any grades. So that's why you got to put your foot down and do something. Because this could change your life, could change the other students' life. And don't just do it once and feel bad about it. You got to keep on doing it. That's how they're going to respect you. By saying, oh, the teacher called the security. Oh, the teacher called the disciplinarian. Oh, the teacher wrote a name down. So let me get together. If you don't do it, then they say, oh, we could get a lot from him. He doesn't do anything. He's nice. We don't care that he's nice. But he's not doing it. He's not taking a stand. He's not holding us accountable. He's not. He is not structuring the class or organizing the class. He's not controlling the class. And, oh, another thing I want to tell you too is think of from memory. If you know class starts out rough or loud or play fighting automatically, what you have to do is maybe let them do an agreement form. You want to be careful with a contract with the kids because then they'll think that uh, this is a business school or you're making them sign something. Just so they won't feel overwhelmed. Some teachers, some disciplinarians, some principals say don't say contract, so you can say agreement form. It's similar. It's the same thing. So you can say, I'm going to give you this agreement form. You have a meeting with them. It doesn't have to be long. 30 seconds meeting by saying, where's my secretaries at? Where my fifth grade secretaries? Where my fifth grade teacher helpers at? This is an agreement form. What's the agreement? No yelling, no play fighting, no getting out the seats, no throwing stuff. That's the agreement. Those four rules. You could do this in the hallway for the classroom. You could do this when it's recess time. Also in recess, if they are playing rough, don't be afraid of sitting them down, especially if you're the only teacher in the classroom during recess. It could be 40, 50, or 60 kids. I know it sounds like a lot, but you can handle it. Just in case, you gotta make it easy for yourself. Don't make it fun for them. You make it fun for them. That's where it'll be more work for you. So just be prepared if you have to do recess on your own for 10, 15 minutes. Because a lot can happen in 10, 15 minutes. I know it mess up. May not sound like a lot to the kids or to other people, but for you it might be a lifetime. So if the kids is playing rough, going by the fence, uh, throwing things, climbing things, and you told them repeatedly, they'll be afraid of telling them to sit down. If they say they're not doing that, they say, well, no recess the next day. And if they say they don't care, then you govern yourself and govern them accordingly to your discretion. Not their discretion, your discretion. They can't handle it. They're not ready for it. They're smart, but they can't handle the control. They can't handle the power that you have. So you're real powerful. Don't let them take your power to 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 year olds. Not 14-year-old fifth graders, but I'm now referring to the eighth graders. But get back with the fifth graders, the 10, 11, 12-year olds. Don't let them take any power from you. And once again, with the student who's trying to control the class, tell them I appreciate you helping me, but I got it from here. You can help me with the fun stuff. Because see, when the student try to help you, then they're missing work from them. They're missing work. They're missing their education. They're missing their learning because they feel that they have to help you. So tell them that you appreciate that they help you, but don't expect them to help you all the time. Because what if a disciplinarian come in? What if the principal come in and say, you let this student control the class, you let this 10, 11-year-old student control the class? That's your job. I don't want the teacher or disciplinarian or principal tell you stuff that you already know. So you got to nip that in the tail with that student trying to help you, but it's actually hurting you because it's hurting your teaching skills and it's hurting her education. So it could be win for you, but it's actually a lose for you. And I know you might have to put your foot down and tell her more than once, more than twice. But whatever the case may be, get it done. Tell her that you appreciate her helping you, but you got it from here. If she says, but they don't listen to you, you say, well, that's for me to deal with. Your job is to learn and get a good education. You let me deal with that. You let me be the judge of that. You can say, I am very nice. It's true. You're right. I don't play either. You gotta give me a chance. You gotta trust me. That means you don't trust me. That means that I'm practically. But you gotta be careful with saying I might as well go home. You gotta be careful with that because, especially the fifth graders, they hang on your every word. You gotta be explicit. You gotta be clear with them, crystal clear with them. Dot your I's, cross your T's. Be a good communicator. You have to, so they won't get stuff mixed up. And another thing too is don't let them sit in the teacher's seat. But if you already have it established, uh, make sure that you fair with them. Don't let them dictate the time that they're going to be in the chair. You get them 5 minutes per student if you're good at being fair. But even if you're good at being fair, if you don't want them to sit in the seat, they don't sit in the seat. Once again, they're not older than you, and right, they're not older than you. They're not 35 or 40 years old. That's your lane. They're supposed to stay in a 10, 11-year old lane. They can't handle the 30, 35 or 40-year old lane. That's too much pressure for them. They can't handle it. Once again, getting back to what I said, you might have to have a pre-classroom in the hallway to let them know what you expect. Uh, you can even teach, get them defects. You can say, before you enter my class, I need you to get defects. Don't care if that rough student by saying, oh, I'm not doing it. He said, don't do it, but I'm still going to do what I have to do. You're welcome to participate or not, but I'm still going to do it. Don't let it off to students tell you what they are going to do or what they want you to do. That's not their class. It's your class. Even if you're the teacher for the day or the teacher for a couple minutes, they got to do what you tell them, whether they like it or not. Don't compromise. Don't budge. Don't negotiate with them because they're not going to compromise or budge or negotiate with you. What did we learn in class yesterday? What is hypothesis? What is hydroponics? What is, if this is a science class, what is the four ecosystems? What is photosynthesis? You could ask the students to tell you those 3 or 4 examples. Uh, But you don't want to overwhelm them too. Maybe try ask them 2 questions at the beginning of class in the hallway, then ask them 2 questions at the end of the class. You can say, where's my secretary, line secretaries? Where's my line assistants? Who can help me? Try to get the back line too, because the back line tend to act up the most by saying, who could help me take care of fifth grade business? Who could help me take care of the line business? Make it sound as important as you can, and I'm telling you, you can get their attention, and you're good at getting their attention. You just gotta work on keeping it. Don't be afraid once you get their attention. Now, you be consistent by that's how you keep their attention, by keep on being consistent and keep doing what you're doing. And I'm telling you, it may not seem as if they listen to you at first, but you stick to it, they will listen to you as they do to other teachers. You understand? Another thing too is if they yell, "Oh well, shut up," you say, "Well, how about both of you let up?" Or how about both of you step up? You don't have to say "shut up" back to them. No, I recommend that you don't say "shut up" to the students. I look at that as a curse word to me. Once again, if the students yell and say "shut up" if you're talking, you can say, "How about both of you step up? How about both of you let up and step up?" If they're fighting, you can say, "This is a fifth grade moment. This is a 10-year-old or an 11-year-old moment. You can either fight and sacrifice your reward, or you can walk away and still keep your reward. What are you going to do? You can handle it, or you need me to handle it for you. What are you going to do? This is not hard. Don't make it harder than it already is. It's not rocket science. You go this way, you go that way. Don't talk to him. She won't talk to you. It's that simple." So you said this is the bigger person test. This is the tough student test. You could say, how would you be tougher? I know you got to word it where it makes sense to the word it while being intelligent. You say this is the tougher person test. Are you tough by fighting, or are you tough by walking away? This will define how tough you are, by fighting with each other or walking away. Let's see who's going to be the bigger person. This could be a win-win for you, but you gotta decide. If you can't decide, I would decide for you. This is not hard. I already know what to do. I want to see if you know what to do. And once again, find your voice. It's gonna take some practice. Find your voice where you don't talk too loud, but just right. Even the good teachers, they find their voice, or the best teacher in the world find their voice to get their attention, where you don't raise your voice at the top of your lungs, where you find that 6.5 out of 10 or 7 out of 10 voice where you get the student's attention. I know it's easier said than done, and it's cliche. You might have to practice it a little bit. Maybe if you do your hand like this, that help you to be a little bit more aggressive while coming across loving, where you're showing them tough love. The fifth grades need tough love more than ever, because they got a little bit of everything going on. They have baby, they have grown up, they have middle school, they have kindergarten, they have first grade, all wrapped up into one with the fifth grade. So it's an interesting grade. You got to know how to meet them where they at. You have to know how to know their names, understand their personalities. The same thing it applies for the sixth, seventh, eighth graders, but I think particularly in the fifth graders. Um, Once you establish their rapport, their trust, then they will not only like you but respect you. And even with the tough students who always have something to say what you need to say too, but try not to go back and forth with them, and try to find one positive thing that they did. Because maybe the tough students is you always used to getting in trouble. Even though I know they could give you a hard time and be a problem or interference in the class. Or right. But what you do is try to find one positive thing. If they listen to you one time, say, "I appreciate you listening to me. I know we butt head a lot. Be careful with that if it's a person. I know we sometimes clash, or we go at it or don't see eye to eye, but I respect you for being a bigger person and not putting your hands on the person and not cursing. I know that you wanted to, but I'm glad you didn't, and I respect you for that. And not gonna give up until you respect me full time. I know you have it in you. Even if you say that to the person one time, that could change their life. And once again, even if the person curse or throw things, if you tell the disciplinarian by saying, can you also tell the student not to throw things because this distracting class, and I don't want the student to think that they can always throw things to solve a problem or use their hands to solve a problem. Or they try to be smart or show off or be funny and say, these are my hands. But use your hands for the good, not for evil. The choice is yours. You don't always have to use your hands to attack or to harm others. You can use your hands for other purposes. What are other ways you can use your hands instead of causing causing havoc or causing destruction? In other words, you could say there's a million ways you can use your hands instead of throwing things at people. You could do the chant. You could say fifth grade, clap, clap, clap. Fifth grade, tap, tap, tap. Fifth grade, snap, snap, snap. Is another attention getter you could use. You ask the fifth grade which attention getter you like best. Mix it up. Try to be consistent. If they like a certain attention getter, but try to mix it up too, so they won't say that attention getter is boring. You got to mix it up now. Always try to be a step ahead of them. Be spontaneous. This is not the catchiest, but it might work. You could say fifth grade, give me a beat. Fifth grade, have a seat. Fifth grade, stomp your feet. Or you could say five beat, give me a beat. Five beat, give me a beat. Five beat, have a seat. Five beat, stomp your feet. You could say freeze. Everybody clap your hands. Freeze. Everybody have a seat. Freeze. Everybody stop your feet. And the reason I say to clap your hands, have a seat, stop your feet, or clap your hands, stop your feet with the fifth grades, or you could do the other grades too, but mostly the fifth grades because it's mindfulness. You're helping them with the here and now. And another thing, what you can do to be creative, if you're doing the ecosystem, I'm in science mode. You can compare it to the four seasons if they're confused. I say, what's the four ecosystem? You have the tundra, which is cold. You have the desert land, the grassland. You have the rainforest. And you could say the rainforest is similar to spring. April showers bring May flowers. The tundra is similar to winter. The desert is similar to summer. The grass is similar to fall. And you can let them be actors. And what you can do too to get the class to listen to you, you can use the Pringle empty Pringle can, where they could use their. You can pretend it has a microphone or a loudspeaker. You can say Pringles, and then the student say the quiet signal, or you could do um, one, two, three. Then the kid said Michael Jackson, and then you say, "Oh, eyes on me, Tupac." Or you say Mike check, and then the student says respect. Or you say line check, then the student says respect. See, I told you I'm the attention getter king. So don't be afraid of using all your tips and tricks. But if that doesn't work, then you gotta do something to get a class to listen to you. So they won't make your class or your teaching experience a living nightmare. I don't want you to dread going to school. I don't want you to. You can take off days if you need a break, because everybody needs a break. We're all human, but I don't want you to take days on and take 2 days off every week or every other week. That's too much, because then you run out of your days, and then you are at December or January where you took off your days, and now you can't take off your days anymore because you took them already. So that's what I'm saying. You got this is endurance rates, not just with the fifth grades, but you saving or stretching your time or allocating your time. Do so as a. So I'm not telling you when to take off your time, but please be mindful. Please be careful. Please be cautious with it. If you need to take a day, so be it. More power to you. But please don't do so. Take off 2 days back to back all the time, and you don't have any days. I want you to go to May or June where you still have 2 or 3 days left. That I recommend that be your goal. It's up to you, your prerogative, it's your discretion, your decision. I want you to say, "Oh boy, I shouldn't took those days off. Those kids ran me raggedy. Now I don't have any days. Here I am in November. I took all my days. What am I gonna do?" And you can deal with those strong students too. So don't be scared of them. Don't be intimidated by them. No matter how many times they talk back, it's still your class. You're still in charge. You hear me? I want to emphasize that. I can't emphasize that enough. That's your class. You're in charge. You're the supervisor. Don't let them be your supervisor where they're controlling you. You control them. And if they don't want to listen to you, then you do something and make an example out of them. You have to, so they won't torment you or traumatize you. because you know some of these kids they don't stop. They know how to press people's button. And I would, in other words, I don't want them to scare you out to school. And it's not even the first. You even make it through the first year. I don't want them to scare you out of school uh, during month 2 in October or November. I don't want them to do that to you. So that's why you gotta take ownership, authority of the class. With those mouthy, cursy students who like to throw or play fight, you have to. Once again, if you're dealing with students who curse, you could say I don't care or I not doing that. But if I'm not cursing as an adult, you're not cursing as a child. I'm telling you that right now. Don't be afraid of giving them the serious look. And sometimes you might have to stretch your eyes too to help you project your voice. If you have a relaxed eye, or if it's rainbows or starbursts or Skittles, then they're gonna. I don't want them to run amok on you or do a number on you. I'm saying, Dad, this teacher can't control the class. It's not about what people think. This is your journey. This is your self soul searching adventure. Another thing too is if you have a hard time writing their names, you could print out the attendance sheet for all the fifth grade class. If you are filling through the list, then you could have a printout version and a hard copy version where you write their first names only. You don't really have to know their last names. It doesn't hurt though, but write their first name where you can put it in a pocket. In your pocket, you have access to all the students' names. Just in case it's a fire drill, you have the roster with you. Always have copies of a printout version and a handwritten version. If you forget the printout version, you have the handwritten version with you. The principal asks, "Where's your roster at? Where's your kids at?" You have it in your pocket. You have it in your wallet. You have it in your phone uh, for future purposes. You never know if there's an evacuation drill or a fire drill. Another thing, getting back to what I was saying, if you are the teacher of the year, don't let's say and think that, oh, these kids are gonna make you work for these kids are gonna make the fifth grade is gonna make you work for teacher of the year while the staff wants you to celebrate. No, you can celebrate teacher of the year with the fifth graders too. Don't let them make you work for anything. You are teacher of the year for a reason because you are a very good teacher. You're just as good as the next teacher. You're one of the best in the school. So don't let the fifth graders, or let's say, and think that you the fifth, you was the teacher of the year for nothing. You understand? They wouldn't have gave you teacher of the year if they didn't mean it, if they didn't see potential in you. So don't think that you had to prove your worth. You already did it for months on end. So this is a celebration. This is your part. Don't let the fifth graders ruin your part. Treat the teacher of the year as this is your birthday. This is your graduation. This is your pep rally. This is your prom. This is your exit day. This is your anniversary. This is your wedding day. Don't let the fifth graders mess it up. Don't let if you let them mess it up, then you let them steal your joy. Don't let them rain on your parade. And this is what you could do too. You could tell them that instead of focus on them, focus on yourself. When you feel like fighting, when you feel you want to fight, eye on the prize. Once again, repeat after me. When you want to fight, eye on the prize. Which is the surprise? Eye on the prize. You can say, I have a surprise for you, but if the kids don't listen, then no surprise. It's that simple. And another thing you can tell them is you can control your reaction by focusing on you instead of controlling other people's action and focus on themselves. Once again, you can say you could control your reaction by focusing on yourself instead of um, focus on other people and controlling their reaction. You see how much work it is? You try to focus on yourself and other people at the same time. You can't do it. It's impossible. You're trying to control your reaction and other people's action. You can't do it. So when you say, why are you looking at me? You're focusing on them. You're trying to control their action. But it's a lot easier to focus on yourself and control your action than it is to focus on other people and control their reaction. They're very smart. That should make sense to them. But I know, of course, I'll speak in my speed of velocity. So you got to speak nice and slow and clear and loud. Well, another thing too is if the rough kids speak to you in a rough way, you can say you need to remix your tone. You need to remix your statement right now. If I'm not yelling at you, you're not yelling at me. And another thing too is if the kids justify by hitting the other students, by throwing things at the other student they hit them. You could say, now, why did you? do that. Well, don't ask them why, because they know why they did it. You can say, now, you know you was wrong for throwing stuff at the student. You say, well, I don't care. They shouldn't have talked to me or looked at me. So that's why I did what I did. And there's some kids who have no remorse or no regret or no conscience or no guilt. So what you could do is you could say, um, no, it doesn't matter if you don't care or not. I didn't ask for that. You know you was wrong, um, because if they throw stuff at you, you know you want to let slide. You know you want blood. You know it'll be World War IV in this place. So like I said, you was wrong. I stand by what I said. If they didn't throw anything at them, don't throw anything. If they didn't throw anything at you, you don't throw anything at them. If they didn't hit you, you don't hit them. You keep your hands to yourself. You better stop hitting people. You better stop throwing stuff at people. Nobody did nothing to you. Say it just like that. Whether it's the ladies or the gentlemen, you gotta be like that. And if they say they don't care, then you write their name down. You get the dean right away to remove that student, because then they're being defiant. They are being rebellious. They're being antisocial with you. But they know how to respect the other teachers. You gotta uh, make them give you that same respect as a teacher. You do by doing something about it. Don't be all bark and no bite. You gotta be a little bit of bark and bite. That's how you show the tough love, especially if you're lying. You can't be all raw and no bite. Sometimes you gotta be a little raw and a little bit of bite. Mix, mix it up. You can say, hands up, volume down, eyes on the crown. Especially if you're wearing the king mask, the Lion King mask. Yeah, and say it uh, 2 or 3 times. Once again, hands up, volume down, eyes on the crown. Hands up, volume down, eyes on the crown. Hands up, volume down, eyes on the crown. Let me start repeating it before I said, we heard you the first time. Don't sound like a parakeet. Another thing too, I know this is a long video, but bear with me. With the fifth grade, you gotta be able to resolve conflict more so than ever. Meaning, if there's a fight, try to get to the bottom of it if you can. You don't have to understand 100%, but if you understand 80% or 70%, that's better than nothing. So you gotta be a little detective. You gotta be a little lawyer. For example, if the girls are saying the boys are saying something about them, how will you investigate that? How will you make the most sense of it? How will you come up to the best possible conclusion ever? You could say, ladies, I know the boys like they look as if they was talking to you, but I don't think they was. I know they was laughing and they was staring at you, but if you didn't hear your name being called, they probably wasn't talking about you. But gentlemen, you gotta keep it down. You are kind of loud, and I think you wasn't talking about the ladies, but don't stare at their direction. Can we stare at their direction? It looks suspicious. So that's why the ladies is coming at you hard. But nobody's gonna say any curse words. Nobody's gonna throw anything at you. You if they do, you lead them to me. Once again, if you have a problem, you let me address it. Plan B. If I can't address it, then you go to the dean. Plan C. If the dean is not around, I don't know what to do, then maybe that's the last resort. Very last resort. Say very last resort. You can defend yourself, but I don't mean you keep on going. If they throw something, but I know you gotta be careful with that too, though. So, so that's why you gotta say extreme, very last resort. So if somebody throws something at you, then maybe you could throw. That's a tough one. That's a real tough one. So, for example, if somebody push you, then maybe you could push them back. But I know it seems as if you're promoting violence, but don't say push you because if you use that example, then they might run with it. So you could say once again, as a very last resort, then maybe you might can defend yourself. You gotta use be careful with your words, with your grades. I'm telling you, they hold on to everything you say. But once again, maybe you could say, we'll do 4 steps. Leave it to me. If I don't know what to do, call the dean. If the dean's not around, I'll text him. And maybe as plan D, as a very last resort, you might can defend yourself. But you gotta be careful, very careful, or because you, kids might say, "Oh, the teacher," and instead of you saying Plan D to defend yourself, the kids will say, "Oh, the teacher said I could defend myself." They won't focus on the last three options you say. So you gotta be careful with that. What I recommend is you say, "Leave it to me as Plan A." Uh, Leave it to the dean as Plan B. Leave it. Then I'll text them if the dean is not around. Then, as the last resort, as Plan D, you can walk away. You can walk away, take a bathroom break, get some water instead of putting your hands on the person. That's Be careful with saying baby last resort because the last resort to you is the first line of defense to the kids. So you gotta be smart and cognizant with it. I didn't mean to go back and forth and stumble or stutter with it. I want to make sure I make myself perfectly clear. You guys give them the Plan A, the Plan D plan, Plan A to D plan. Once again, to make it really clear, they go to you as a teacher. They go to the dean. If the dean's not around, you text the dean. So it'd be in your records. Then if nothing happens, you can let the students walk away or go to the bathroom or get some water. But they can't leave the classroom without your permission. They gotta let you know what you're doing because if you let them leave the class without your permission, then they can do it all the time. Once again, be careful with saying let fighting be your very last resort. Even if you say let fighting be your plan Z or your very last resort, the kids will say, "Oh no, I don't hear. I don't care. You said um, if somebody touched me first, I can put my hands on them." But once again, they're not going to listen to you saying the other 25 options. Once again, they're going to turn Plan Z or Plan 26, which is them defending themselves as Plan A and number one. So be careful with that. Use that as your discretion, your disposal, your decision. Use that wisely. I'm saying you can defend yourself as the very last resort. I don't mean to keep going back and forth with it, but this is your career on the line. This is your tender on your line. This is your salary on the line. This is your health insurance. This is your life on the line for these kids. Don't let the 10, 11-year-old jeopardize nothing. Not your career, not your life, not your sleep, not your eat, not nothing. Another way you could break down, you could control other people's action, but not your own action. You could say, leave the other people's action to me. That's their job. That's not your job. When you say, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? You worry about other people's action. You're trying to control their action, and that's too much work. That's too much headache. That's all your work going in vain. Don't do so. And if there's a fight, since it's National Spanish Month, whether it's Hispanic people, African American people, Caucasian people, Asian people, you say, let's do the Macarena for Hispanic month. Let's make Hispanic month fun. Let's make Hispanic month happy. Let's make Hispanic month proud by doing the Macarena. You can do the Macarena acapella if they're doing if they are about to have a fight. You say, I'm not doing that, or I don't want to do that. That's fine. I would do it anyway between the two of you to break the ice. And then the class might join in too. And once again, if you're dealing with the lines, and sometimes the lines give you a hard time, you can say, "Who want to make $1 billion? Who want to make $1 trillion? Who want to make $1 zillion? Who want to make $1 bazillion?" Let's say it's 25 kids. So it's 26 kids. You can let the first student be the one, and the rest of the students be the zero. And you say, "Look, dean, or look, principal, I'm a millionaire, or I'm a billionaire, or I'm a trillionaire, or I'm a zillionaire," by showing your $1 zillion sign, and the kids they show their ones and their zeros. Don't get upset or frustrated if all the students don't want to participate. As long as most of the students are participating, that's what matters the most. And when you do the zeros, you can let it be. You can let it be dollar bills to make it fun, to make it interesting. So don't just give them a blank sheet of paper because then they'll try to draw it or toss at their friends. Let the zeros mean something. So once again, if it's $1 billion, put a zero um, by the $1 zillion. The fake money, of course, to make it fun, to make it interesting for the kids so they could work and cooperate with you. Then the other teachers might follow your plan. And this could be perfect for math classes, be perfect for a science class. Science and math go hand in hand. You can do this with ELA, you can do this with gym, you can do this with anything, for anything. So be creative. So be creative first. Do what you need to do. But the kids don't respond to your creativity, then you have to do what you have to do and do something and discipline them. You take call the security, tell the security you want the student to remove, tell the dean respectfully you want the student removed, tell the principal respectfully that you want the student removed out of class because they're disrupting your class. Don't be afraid of saying this. That's how they're gonna listen and respect you down the line. You're invested in your future in terms of the students respecting you. And then you could do money jeopardy for math or science because math or science could be difficult subjects for the fifth graders, and that's where they think they could do whatever they want to do. And if there's a fight, still hold the class to the same standards, to the same accountability. Just because it's a fight doesn't mean that they do what they want to do and lose focus and watch the fight, whether it's outside or in the classroom or in the hallway. You tell them that they still have work to do and you expect nothing less, and that you're going to check the work and that work is going to be graded. The show must still go on, whether it's a fight or not. Class is still in session. They're not at home. They're not in the backyard. They're not at the park. They're not at the zoo. They're still in the classroom. So they have to respect you in the classroom. I think I said everything I need to say. Thanks for listening to me for 42 minutes. I appreciate you. I will talk to you later, my kings and queens. Remember, you're the king in terms of the teacher, and they are the prince and princesses. If you want to call them little kings, little queens, or fifth grade kings, or fifth grade queens, even though you're the teaching king, you can. It's up to you. But you're over them. They're not over you. You don't answer to them. They answer to you. You got it? Real serious, real important. Once again, you're investing in your future. When you discipline the kids, you are taking the money in the bank, and you're making a profit off of this. So when you send them to the dean or to the ISS in school suspension, you are making a profit. It's going to grow interest when you discipline the kids. Your respect is going to grow interest. Your Then respect to you is going to grow interest. You're going to make a profit off of it. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but maybe next week, next month, or before the last day of school. And similar, if you say hello to the students and they'll say hello back to you, you can say, that's okay. You got to say hello to me. I'll still say hello to you for the next 165 days of the school year. If you're listening to me, have a great day. See you later. Stay blessed. God bless my kings and queens. I'll talk to you later. This is yours, King. Until next time, I'll talk to you later.